Welcome back, everyone, to Phil's Recap and Review, Game of Thrones, Season 7, Episode 5, The Feedback Show. And tonight we're here to take all your feedback questions for Season 7, Episode 5. That's right. We know that... Look, I'm going to start this show off right off the bat with saying I'm not going to whistle past the graveyard, ignore the giant fucking Episode 6 elephant sitting in the room. We're not going to talk about spoilers tonight, but I have a couple quick warnings. If you are in this video, if you're watching this video and you're in the live chat section, I never say this, but tonight, if you don't want to be spoiled, tonight might be the night to go away, to not watch us, because I am willing to bet we have awesome mods that are going to be trying to keep this up and keep it in control, but there's probably people that are just going to be jumping into the chat section and throwing out spoilers there. So pre-warning about that. We will not be talking about the spoilers tonight, but we will be talking about and taking all your episode 5 questions. But I'm not alone. I have with me a guest here. He's someone that I first saw him in the comments and watching our videos a couple of years ago, and I had sort of a weird moment where I was watching his videos and he was coming in the chat in our videos, and I didn't realize it was the same person. And I had sort of like a connecting moment. Holy shit, wait, no, you're King Mckay from the... And we have King Mckay. How's it going tonight, King Mckay?
Great to be here. Great to be here. This is my first time live anywhere on YouTube, so this should be interesting.
Yeah, I was wondering if you had ever been live before, and I realized I just totally like Simpsons celebrity you. I was like, hey, John Elway, how's it going, John Elway? Hey, today we have King Mckay. Hi, King Mckay, what's going on, buddy? But no, I've been watching King Mckay's videos for a while. Huge fan. If you're not checking out his stuff, I cannot recommend it enough. He does a lot of theory videos, episode reviews, but the main thing he does almost better than anyone is his previews for coming for the next episode. He does them pretty much right after the episode airs. He puts those out very, very soon. So definitely, if you haven't already, subscribe to King Mckay. You can find the link to his channel in the description box below. But we're not alone as well, King. We have with us the motherfucking chat. And motherfucking chat, you know, you guys are so fucking special, as I keep my effect on my voice for some strange reason. But you guys are so special, I wanted to put your name on the screen too. So here you go, motherfucking chat. Motherfucking chat. There you are with a motherfucking chat. You're there. You're here. We've got Red Team Review. We've got, oh, Carmine's in the live chat right now.
Oh, Carmine.
Carmine, he knew two of his bays were in talking to each other. Love you, Carmine. You're the fucking best. And it's funny, Carmine also was one of the people that first kind of introduced me to your channel. And I was like, oh wait, I think I know this guy. I think he comes into and checks out some of my streams sometimes too. And like I said, if you haven't already, definitely check out King Mckay's content. And I'm psyched to have him here for his very first live stream. And yeah, I'll go as easy on you as I possibly can. I'll only make you strip and, you know, really inappropriate things with your body on screen. But we have Medora, we have your mom, we got The Walking David, we got Red, we got Critch, K Rich, we got Timo, we got lots of good friends, Mark Hunt, B. Leon Carmine. You can't believe the plot hole mess with episode 5. I got leaks in my roof. Everyone's got leaks in their roof. But today we're going to be taking your feedback questions, your comments, and stuff that was sent to me. We are going to jump into the live chat and talk to you guys in the live chat. Maybe even take some live calls if you want to call in. That should be an adventure at 714-694-4120, or you can still leave a voicemail and text at 781-990-8509. But we have lots of text and lots of messages for you and me, King. So let's get into it. Let's not waste any more time and get into our first question comment of the night. And this is from Karan from Pennsylvania. Randall Targaryen, you killed my father. Hypocrite, threatened to kill his own son. So I want to use that as a point to talk about how the death of Dickon and Randall in this situation. Now, do you think Randall had much of a choice, King?
I think he'd already flip-flopped way too many times for his, like, what he's always tried to, like, be this honorable person. He stayed with, like, the Targaryens when they were falling. He always wanted to be that guy that stayed to the end, and he already flip-flopped, like, 3 times, and he couldn't do it again.
Yeah, he couldn't.
He'd rather die.
Yeah, and I mean, ultimately, Dickon made a impassioned decision to stay close to his father in that situation, but that was where a lot got talked about. And we're going to get into this as we get more questions about this, about Dany. What did she do? Did she do the right thing? Did she do the right thing by burning them? I think she had to burn Randall. I think the mistake was burning Dickon. I think in that situation, you should have done what Tyrion said. I know Tyrion isn't often right, but in that moment, I personally tend to agree that they probably should have thrown him in a cell somewhere and taught Dickon a lesson. I don't know how you feel about that. What do you feel about that?
Totally agree. Like, the Dickon really was like the future of that house, and so they could have secured all the people in that house for a very long time if they'd kept him alive. They could have used Randall as the example, because one guy being alive it's not like, it's still pretty frightening. You know, you're going to bend the knee. So, oh, was it two? I'm not gonna bend the knee now.
100%. Timo says, I want to see King Mckay's face. Shirt is optional. Timo, oh my gosh, Timo, no sexually harassing the guests until they're in your basement. Wait till King Mckay's locked up in your basement. Dickon had the saddest death of the season. Were you emotionally affected at all by the death of either of those two?
Dickon definitely, because he was growing on you that entire episode, especially after Jaime was making fun of him and you learned about his first battle and stuff. So I thought he was going to be a character they wanted to like push into the late season. And I was actually hoping he was the one that saved Jaime, not Bronn.
Yeah.
But yeah. So it was kind of sad to see him get killed off pretty quickly.
Dickon.
Yeah, it's a sad day for Dickon. Very sad day for Dickon. Long live, Analysis of Thrones is making Timo sick in the live chat. Long live Lady Sansa, rightful queen of the North before Jon Targaryen. Timo is throwing up. And there we have Retired Nurse. Great to see you, Kathy. Great to see you in the live stream, whether Joe is here or not. Maiden of Darkness is in the live chat. Great to see all of our good friends. So let's go to our first text message of the evening, and this is from Michael from Tennessee for the feedback show. So Robert's grandmother was a Targaryen, which means she is Gendry's great grandmother. This makes him Dany's second cousin and Jon's third cousin, and roughly 6% Targaryen. Do you think, and this is for you, King, do you think the showrunners are even going to acknowledge that? Any hope for a Gendry scene with a dragon? I'm going to say no. What do you think about that, King?
No, I don't think they have any time whatsoever to develop that at all. Like, we've only got 2 more episodes now, and then we've got season 8 with only 6 episodes. There's no way they can develop more Gendry stuff, like Targaryen history, 6%.
Yeah,
but I do want to see another Dragon Rider, though. That is something I definitely want to see, either this season or next.
I agree. I think it's too late to do that. I would be surprised if they really even mention until maybe, depending on Gendry's fate, depending on if they even mention Storm's End again. I just want them to mention Storm's End again. I just want them to say, hey, Gendry, that belongs to you, or Jon delivers him, or anything like that. Forget the Targaryen connection to the Baratheons with the first Baratheon, is taken to the Storm and all that sort of stuff. I would like to at least see them make being a Baratheon something that matters on the show, and not just have him be the blacksmith for hire or the guy that do one-liners with Jon Snow. Not that I mind that, but it would be good if they spent the time to. And this is where we get into the 7 episodes versus 10 episodes. And a lot of people know I bitch about that a lot. But as much as I really did enjoy this episode, and on a rewatch, I liked it even more because I could absorb it all more, not trying to like take notes while I'm getting into it. But I'll still say it still felt a little rushed to me. It felt like it was a 10-episode season that they were trying to wrap up something that probably could have been done in 2 episodes, and really could have had King's Land, like really explored them being King's Landing and just lots of stuff. For me, anyways, I feel the rush, and I don't know if it's in my own head or if it's a reality. I don't know. Do you feel that at all?
They could have made this 9 seasons of 10 episodes. I feel like, with the amount of stuff they just brushed over. Like, George R. R. Martin didn't leave them with a lack of material to work with. Like, they have so much to go with, and especially when they rush over so many storylines like Arya and Sansa and stuff and Braavos, they could have drawn that out all through the season with Arya and not have it come back until next season. But,
honestly, I could not agree with you more. It just seems like it seems like they're in a hurry, and I understand. I just don't buy the whole, and I know this is an old discussion, but I just don't buy that there's not enough story to be told when it comes down to it. And I haven't, and this is a personal thing, I haven't quite gotten adjusted to how the pacing of this season is going to work. And I mean, it's going to be even different next season with 6 longer episodes. And I think I think perception's a big fucking thing, and the best way to think about it is thinking that it's one long season. Season 7 has 13 episodes, and there's a break in between. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's perception actually matters. Hannibal O'Neill supported 666 in super chat. Scary motherfucker. That is awesome. Just supporting the motherfucker. Get a spin of the wheel for you, Hannibal. Thank you so much. And Hannibal also is left us some amazing voice messages and stuff like that. So I want to play something Hannibal did. I think this might be a good time to play it right now. But let me figure something out. I'm like, this is me trying to do stuff live. I'm trying to pick the software. And while I'm doing this, let me play a voicemail. And let's play this voicemail right here from David.
It's David again. Just giving you a call back. Hoping next recap show. I got a couple of questions. One, do you think Braun is a wildling? Because I noticed that the way he speaks is very similar to the way Manson then spoke, and the Free Folk and stuff like that, and Tormund. Interesting theory, because he stays alive. And he's always been moving south. We first see him in Winterfell, too far away from the little inn or whatever, and he's moving further and further. It's pretty cool, Second thing is I know the Suicide Squad's going north, and we know there's going to be casualties. But what if at the end of the day they can't take a member of the army because they're overwhelmed? But what if one of their numbers dies and comes back as a white, and they have to bring that previous companion as proof? Because I did kind of notice it could be really shitty cutting on HBO's past, but I did notice that the Hound is using Gendry's weapon. Not saying he's going to fall, but he might be injured. I did notice that. So I did really bad editing on their part, or what the hell, But the Hound with that hammer is going to be brutal. But the other question I had, well, the point I wanted to make as well was, what if at the end?
1 second, I'm going to mute it here for 1 second. Come back to the second half of the question. First part is Braun actually alive? Like, I don't think so. I just think that's a funny coincidence, and he's low-born, so that's why he kind of speaks in a similar tact. The second part of that, which was if one of the people that they bring back, if the white that they end up bringing back is actually one of their own party. That would make a lot of sense. I think there's certain ways that could happen that wouldn't make sense. And I think maybe if it is someone within their own party, that could possibly make sense. And I'm whistling past the graveyard on this one because there are spoilers out there. So be careful if someone's like, actually, Phil, this is what happens. But do you have any thoughts on that, King?
I brought up the hammer thing in my preview, and I definitely saw that was pretty significant. I was like, oh, the Hound with the hammer is going to be pretty cool. So I really hate if that's the way that Gendry was ended off, just dying or becoming a white. But it would be a nice, like, for some of the other characters like Thoros or Dondarrion, people who are like, they don't really have much to their character. It'd be a good way for them to go out, because it feels like their chapter's already coming to an end. So it's like they don't have much to offer now.
Exactly.
That would be a cool way for them to go out.
And as we get to Endgame, this is their last thing, which is ultimately what I think that this is for, or it seems like to me, a way of thinning out the ranks a little bit. Timo says Phil's looking like he could knock on the basement door right now. Hey, okay, thank you so much. I cleaned up for King Mckay. He's a classy guy. I got to clean up for him. Phil's knocking on that door. Join the Discord. Phil, did you talk about the prophecy from Maggie about Cersei only having 3 children? Dan Arrington, a good friend of mine. We haven't talked about that yet. I think it said she'll have only 3 children. She's pregnant. I'm curious about King's thoughts about this too. I don't think she actually, and I don't think she has that kid. I think she dies before giving birth to that kid.
I don't even think she's conceived it in the first place. I think it's just.
So you're on Joe's side of that. You think she might be?
Yeah, I think she's just using it to manipulate Jaime, because she knows that Jaime's slowly like backing away, and she just has to keep drawing him in with the sex and the openness and the child. She just needs ways to hook Jaime to her because of Tyrion's influence.
Yeah, and especially now that she knows he's had contact with Tyrion again, and in her eyes, Tyrion's kind of like a disease that finds his way in there with Jaime and will convert him, and he's the only other person that could possibly garner Jaime's loyalty besides her, so she's being extra proactive about it. I'm not against that idea. I think that would be an interesting take on the situation, and it would make a lot of sense to the people that are believing that. You, Joe, believes that. I know a lot of people do. it makes a lot of sense. It's not something that first occurred to me, but it definitely makes a shit ton of sense. Phil, they talk about the prophecy. Phil, don't think Arya is dating material. She's a serial killer. Poor Gendry. I completely agree, Phil. I really wish they had have done the normal 10 episodes for the next few seasons. HBO wanted them around for as long as possible, so I blame D&D. So do most people. Tom says, Phil, have you just got home from a wedding trying to seduce us? I'm specifically trying to seduce you, Tom, because you're a sexy bastard that's having relations with my issues bot. But no, I went to a dinner sort of thing before coming here tonight, so I didn't have a chance to change, and it's an excuse for me to be a clean hippie rather than a dirty hippie. And let's go. Fuck D&D. He's trying to get in your pants. Looking extra nice tonight. Phil says Lady Warrior of House Brady. 666. Gotta love that. Smash that like button. Thank you, everybody that is joining King Mckay and I tonight on this live stream. Get to see all of you guys. Let's take the other half of this question, the last part.
Everything comes together, and Gilly has some kind of photographic memory, and she actually knows stuff from Craster, stuff she's read, and she puts it together. How do the Feet of the Night Canyon? A pretty awesome arc for Gilly, who her and her sisters were a victim of Craster, who had a past with the White Walkers, and now she becomes instrumental in delivering information Bran needs, because she knows all of the stories of the wildlings, and in one-on-one conversations, with Craster and stuff. So, food for thought. But all right, y'all have a good one. Hope to hear y'all discuss it.
No, I definitely like a lot of that. And this connects to another question that someone else texted us. Do we think that the scrolls that Gilly saw, do we think that will come back from Gilly's perspective, come back through Sam with an aha moment and realize what she's talking about? What do you think about the reveal of that situation through Gilly, and will any more come of that?
Well, I know at least one person that would hate for Gilly to get more and more screen time. Sid Carmine. So
he was saying that
he was saying him rant about that.
I know he said something about how he thought it was a fun troll of them to him personally. That a big fuck you to reveal that information through Gilly.
D&D's like, oh, you're reviewing my leaks. I'm going to put more Gilly in next season.
But so do you think it's going to come back that do you think that Sam and Gilly brought those scrolls with them that have that kind of information?
I definitely feel like it won't be a Sam reveal, because it just feels like that's not something that Sam will tell Jon. I think Gilly will just be kind of in the background, and someone will pick up on Tyrion, who knows the knowledge and will understand what she doesn't understand, and it will be her just kind of reading it out or talking to someone, and then it will just slip out, and then someone will be like, oh shit, that's huge, and she doesn't even know it.
And it
could
be
a cool wave.
It also could be Bran too, after he initially does that and goes, hey, wait, when they show up at Winterfell, hey, you know about Jon's parentage too. Come here, come sit with me, and try not to be emotional at all. So we have another part of this question also from Michael from Tennessee. So Robert's grandmother was a target. Okay, the other half. We want to know how the show could blow my mind. The Stark kids decide that Littlefinger has to die. Sansa commands Arya to do it, but just as he is sneaking up to him, he just out of nowhere slashes her throat and then forcibly marries Sansa and declares himself king of the Andals and First Men, effectively controlling everything from Harrenhal to the Wall. How shocking and jaw-dropping would that be? Like the Red Wedding level, but sadly, Baelish isn't the character he used to be. It won't happen, but one can imagine. From Michael from Tennessee, what are your thoughts just in general, and based on that question, on Littlefinger this season? Is there any way that his outcome isn't death at the end of this season from the stupidity that he's causing?
No, he has to die this season. There's just no. Maybe book Littlefinger will do something amazing, but show Littlefinger's he's definitely coming to the end of his arc. He has to die, and I think it needs to be done by a Stark. A lot of people are looking for Arya because they will love Arya, but I feel like with Sansa would be a lot cooler because he's always been more a part of her storyline.
Yep, and
so I'd like to see Sansa do it.
I especially if she found out what was going on, it would be a big. What I'm hoping for, because I am big on the fuck Sansa train in more ways than one. But no, I'm big on the fuck Sansa train. But in this situation, and Timo hates me for this, but in this situation, I do think Arya is acting a little nutty. But I think they're both wrong, and they're both having issues, and they both are acting like assholes in their own way. I think ultimately, I'm hoping that this is the final straw that shows that is challenging her loyalty, and she finally pushes everything else to the back and anything against House Stark, and she's finally like truly embraces being a part of House Stark and being under Jon and being everything. But unfortunately, I don't think that's the way it's going to go. I think we're going to get more indecision by her. And personally, I think it's going to be Arya acting and Sansa going, oh, no, blah, blah, blah. That's how I see it going rather than Sansa making a decision. But I hope you're right. And I hope that she actually grows some, like, and I know some people can say, oh, look what she did with Ramsay, but Joe had a good response to that in our podcast last week. Well, did she even let those dogs out? What did she actually do? So I would love to see some character growth on her side. I fear that we aren't actually going to see it though. But I hope you're right. Sorry, Timo. I hope you're right. So let's go. Hey, Dirty T. Timo's don't be careful, Timo. I know. It never occurred to anyone to sit down and talk about this, Leanna. Hey, Dad, I don't dig Robert, so I'm running off with Rhaegar to conceive the future world savior. Oh, I think I saw Nymeria in the live chat too. Great to see you, Nymeria. Great to see everyone in the live motherfucking chat. Hey, hello to everybody. Sansa is an amazing woman with leadership skills, loving, caring, organized. He tried to say organized, and multi-talented, loves and poops. That's an Iron Throne. If they had a plan, I bet it wasn't Sansa's idea. She's too dumb and scared for that. Timo, unfortunately, I agree with you 100%. I hope for more from her though, and I hope that King has prophetic hair and that it is Sansa that does something. So this is from area code 201. So Gilly and annulment married, blah, blah, blah. So we already talked about this. Gilly finds out that there is an annulment. I didn't know that there were annulments in Westeros, ? So there are annulments in Westeros? Is this a norm? Do you know of any other annulments in the history of Westeros in the books or anything like that? Is that a thing that I don't know about?
I can't remember any, and I know that in real life it's like super rare. So like it's really surprising to happen, though everything around Rhaegar's and Lyanna's relationship is super rare. So it's not like it would be out of the park for that storyline.
Yep. No, and I agree. I think it's an all right twist in the situation. It doesn't bother me too much. Did Stam steal the book? I think so. Could the show have done a better reveal of that information? Do you think, all jokes aside, do you think that was the best reveal of that information?
I actually really liked that reveal. It was just so like, it was there, and everyone was just so frustrated Sam wasn't picking up on it, and he was just going on his rant. And I thought it was actually a quite comedic way of just revealing that and not having everything just come through Bran, because if every information throughout the series just came through Bran, it'd kind of be like a cop-out. I like it to come through something else as well.
Dude, I feel the same way. I like it because it wasn't heavy-handed. Not everything can come from Bran. Sometimes it's good to have stuff in the background like that. Excuse me. And I thought it was kind of a funny scene because I really liked the performance of the actor of Sam in that scene, the way he was just shouting and doing that. And we all been in that situation where you're so angry about something, you can't see what's sitting right the fuck in front of your face. It's ridiculous. And let's continue. This person left a bunch of little comments here. Okay, I want to get into this. We have a lot of questions about this, and King Mckay just did a really good video about this as well. Make sure you check it out. Is Tyrion going to betray Dany video? So did Tyrion suggest this plan just to stop Dany from attacking Cersei and Jaime? Ultimately, did he pick up and say, hey, we should listen to this Jon Snow plan and go try to find a White Walker, the way he took over that because he's, whether it's subconsciously or consciously trying to protect his family. And I know you did a video a lot on this subject on whether Tyrion's going to backstab Daenerys, but just in general, do you think that he's trying to protect his family?
It definitely has to be subconscious. I don't think he's actively knowing he's doing this, but the people around him are picking up on it quite obviously, especially Daenerys, because it's really there. Like, he loves his brother. It's not for Cersei at all. It's definitely for Jaime, everything. And I feel like if he feels like if he delays this long enough, he can make them realize that they're going to lose and they'll come over. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Cersei's going to fight to the bitter end and bring down Jaime with her. But I think that's what Tyrion hopes is going to happen. And so he's just constantly trying to delay things and make things go slowly.
Now,
so he doesn't fuck it up.
Nymeria adds, I think, and someone was asking, and this is a different part of this question, do you think Tyrion believes in the threat in the north now?
Yes. I think he believed it before Daenerys, mainly because of his relationship with Jorah Mormont. And like that was really significant for him, especially in the books. And like we saw him in the show as well. He got along with him really well. And when he heard that letter from King's Landing, he's been doing everything he could to help out the Night's Watch ever since. So he's always been kind of on that side and willing to be open-minded. So it wasn't a huge shock to him when John came across and he was like, yo, we got a huge problem.
Yeah. And Nymeria was saying, I think originally, yes, that he might have been doing it for his family, but I think right now he might fully believe in the White Walkers as well. And he also knows John, like you were saying, he knows John not to be a guy that's going to just bullshit in everything. And ultimately, what he's seen with dragons and everything has opened his mind up and made him less of a skeptic. Peter Griffin says, hello, King Mckay. Hannibal says she would have lost her head. Sorry, jumping in mid discussions. So here we go. Let's go to our Jamie said that. Okay, here we go. Other part of the question. Jamie said the scorpion did not work. Is that? Are we going to see more of the scorpion? Did they really just make one? It did work. They just need to hit the dragon again. So Jamie said in the scene to Cersei, the scorpion didn't work. We can't fight these fucking dragons. Will we see another scorpion again before the end of season 8 of Game of Thrones?
I have a theory about this, and I won't discuss it here because it's definitely spoiler territory. And so like, I definitely think they're going to introduce it back in, and it has to be one of those things where, and Cersei always backfires when she has plans, and I feel like they need to make the scorpion another backfire of Cersei's plan, just to be something that she wants to use it to destroy Dany and stuff like that, and end up actually helping them a lot more. They like this concept of the scorpion, and they definitely, I think they will have to build more because Cersei's not done with this war. Even if she does consent to like an armistice, she's going to be constantly trying to work to kill Dany, and so she's definitely going to have to build more. Yep. And we did see it work, 100%. Like it like took out a dragon out of the sky with a shoulder wing. Imagine what it did if it got them down the throat or on the eye.
Yeah, or you got some triangulation of crossfire or some shit like that. I mean, there are ways to make that work better if you could build more than one. And actually, I've heard people talk about lining around the walls of King's Landing with them, something like that. With one guy with 2 shots was able to hit one. If you have a couple people that are actually archers and actually know what they're doing or did some training with the freaking thing and stuff, you could really stop one of those things. If they just abandon that, I'll be very upset that they introduced it for like literally no reason whatsoever. So it is about this time in the show. Let's get to it. It is...
It's Timo's Red of the Night. It's Timo's Red of the Night. Fuck Sansa. Fuck Sansa. Fuck Sansa. Fuck Sansa. It's Timo's Red of the Night. 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 It's the Red of the Night.
Okay, so let's go to Timo's questions and rants of the evening. Now, Timo's first question is, Davos referred to not being a fighter a lot in this episode. I think around 4 times. Do you think that could be foreshadowing that he might become an invaluable fighter or maybe go out saving someone? I do think it's very interesting that he's been extra mentioning that a few times. I don't know if it's that this season seems to be a lot about callbacks to different things that happened in other seasons. So it's sort of him calling back to that moment last season a couple times of being like, oh, I'm not a big fighter. And that was like a big line from last year in the previews or whatever. And I don't know if it's bulletin board t-shirt material or if it's actually foreshadowing to something. I would guess more the former rather than the latter, that it's more t-shirt material rather than hinting at something, but because that seems to be the mainstay right now. It's more about get the catchphrase, get the cool thing that's go out there. But I hope I'm wrong on this one. What do you think, King?
Like the show always repeats tons and tons of stuff, and like not all of them can turn out to be like amazing foreshadowing. So like the show definitely loves their catchphrases. So I think this wanted an easy way to explain to the audience why Davos is not going up north, because he would be like a go-to, like, oh, he's part of that crew. He always goes over with John. They needed a way to quickly show the audience, oh, he's not going up there because he can't fight. There's no point in going up there.
Yeah.
So this,
no, I was just gonna say, well, fucking super. Well said. Perfect. Awesome. Awesome. And question 2, did the Night King touch of Bran make a connection so he can push Bran out of the warg state or interfere with his green seeing? I just think the Night King has powers we don't quite understand and just sort of checkmated him there, or just knew how to kind of push him out. Has the whammy bar to the three-eyed raven power or something like that. I can't quite explain it. His Sith power is stronger than Bran's Jedi power. I don't know. What do you think about that, King? Do you think he is because of the connection he made, or do you think it's maybe that he's more powerful?
Well, the first time before he made the connection, he could see Bran, so we definitely know it's outside of the connection that he can see people when they're walking around him. So, and I definitely feel like the White Walkers, we just don't know anything about them, like significant amounts yet, and they're going to have to find out more about the limits of his powers and what he does before they're going to be able to beat him. So I feel like that entire plot with Bran will be like covered more because they're just teasing it at the moment. They're like, oh, he can do this, but it has to be. I think it's going to be something more significant later on.
I agree. And I don't think it's going to go all Big Trouble in Little China with like the two warriors battling in the psychic state and shit like that. But I do think that's going to be something that proceeds. We're going to learn more about the powers and all of that. Oh, I'm sorry, everybody. So I'm no big city lawyer, but I'm no fighter. I don't want to go off into the snow. I want to go find Missandei and have sex with her. I'm Davos. I'm no big city lawyer. I eat some, what is that stuff he eats to get a hard on? What was the shit that he was selling at the
crab something?
Yeah, crab something, whatever the fuck that was. I'm no big city lawyer, but crabs shit really helps you get a hard on. You want some gold? Come on, kids. I love Davos has had a really good It's the actor that plays Davos has just continuously got more and more stuff to do as the series goes on. And I'm glad that he's stuck around and found his way. He's a survivor, and he fits his chemistry kind of fits with a lot of different characters. So he's been one of the high points for this season for me, even in his bits and pieces of times. His I'm no big city lawyer. I just enjoy that shit so fucking much.
I was a little bit worried about Davos when we first saw him like in the Jon storyline, because he didn't really have a reason to be backing Jon apart from because Stannis had died. He was kind of in that scenario, but he's really turned it around. I really liked his arc with Jon so far. And he's definitely fits there now. And I like that quite a lot.
And fermented crabs. Yes, fermented crabs.
Oh, fermented crabs.
Patrick O'Neill says, Hannibal says, I want his beard. Can we vape in Westeros? Of course you can. Give me some fermented crabs and poke that like button right now. Thank you, B. Leon. I appreciate that. A survivor like hot pie. Exactly like hot pie analysis. So now let's get to Timo's rants. Another Dany defense that goes around, well, Tyrion burned people, because you got to put down the other characters in order to justify the wrongs of your favorite one, right? Happens with Sansa fans all the time. Just wanted to remind those. I love you, Timo, so fucking much, Timo. I cannot express in words how much I love Timo as a perspective. Tyrion has never enjoyed killing or even watching death. Blackwater, he looked distressed. Marine Masters had to run away. Of course, he would be against the burning alive of unarmed men. Work on the next excuse, Dany fans. She's still a hypocrite. # Joe is still wrong. Any comment on that, King?
I think it was really shocking when she burned those people alive, and like it's indefensible that there was like a somewhat of a parallel to the Mad King burning people alive, you know, in their armor and stuff, and especially when we got a description from Varys talking about what he was thinking through those stages. So he made the connection as well. So like it's definitely the dark side of Sansa we want her to move away from, and I think Tyrion's totally in the right there, and she needs to take more of his advice, even if it doesn't seem like it's working currently. Yeah,
she's got to understand perspective, and why is it's almost like she's burning people at the wrong time. It's just inept leadership going on there. She should have just burned some people at King's Landing and taken over and killed Cersei and been done with it. And then you could just resolve peace. This is all happening because of a lack of action and decisive decisions. People can blame Tyrion all they want about offering a perspective to her, about a plan to do, but ultimately we know about Daenerys, and I like this about her. She will do what she fucking wants to do. and she'll make the final call. So ultimately, it's her decision. So it's on her to decide not to attack because she wants it both ways. She wants to be loved and Misa, 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 all that shit. And she gets off on fucking burning people. And I don't mean even in a Mad Queen way, similar to what Dan and Dave said in their little thing afterwards. She's not crazy. She's calm and calculating with what she's doing. Okay, so just because someone's calm and calculating, doing fucking atrocities, doesn't mean they're not crazy. It just means they enjoy things. Is she saner than someone like Cersei if we're doing like batshit crazy scale? She has more potential batshit crazy. You know when you get a character that has like high enough batshit crazy rating, it's a higher batshit crazy. Cersei has natural batshit crazy, but she doesn't have dragons and she doesn't have a lot of things. Would I rather Daenerys in leadership than Cersei? Of course I would. Of course I would. I think Daenerys has the capability of good. I just think somewhere deep inside her, she enjoys watching people burn. And that's going to be plaguing her. And I think being close to Jon, being close to Tyrion, I agree with Tyrion and Varys in that scene. With the right leadership, she's more open than other people. And I agree, she's not crazy. It's an oversimplification to call her Mad Queen. You know, Mad Queen, crazy, blah, blah, blah. She's not crazy. She's just, it's hard. She's a little bit of, what? You ever see the movie, what's the movie, Backdraft? Donald Sutherland's character in Backdraft, if anyone's ever seen that, where he's just like in love with fire. Whatever that expression is, when someone has a obsession.
Romantic.
Yes, exactly. She has that kind of obsession, and she also has a little bit of an egocentric me complex. But it's all rational. It's not because she's losing her mind. I feel like that's where maybe the separation of what I'm trying to say doesn't quite get it. I don't think she's losing her mind like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. I think she's consciously making poor decisions and consciously enjoys burning people. So that's pyromaniac. Yeah. And yes, thank you, King, and everybody else.
I'm actually surprised she lasted so long of not being aggressive. Like, compare that to Cersei, who is like the real definition of crazy. Every inch of power she got, she used to full crazy extent. Dany's had 3 dragons and a huge army. It's just been sitting on Dragonstone. If Cersei had that, millions dead instantly. Like, she's really done well with the very first couple seasons. It's only just now we're just seeing that she's kind of reached her boiling point.
Now, if Cersei had the dragons, it's not just that people burn. She trains the dragons to burn at a low temperature, so people will stay alive long enough to be tortured. Cersei is batshit crazy, like you just said. She's the definition of a psycho mad queen. That's a more apt description of her rather than Daenerys, for real. But that doesn't mean just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not after you. And just because Cersei happens to have some, and this goes to what in the first part of Timo's rant here, why you have to break down someone else. Just because Cersei's batshit crazy, that has nothing to do with the fact that Daenerys is a pyromaniac and enjoys burning people and likes the smell of whatever and gets off in the power trip and is obsessed with things that she maybe shouldn't necessarily be focused on. And that is, both things are true. Just like, and that's the great thing about Game of Thrones. There's nothing black and white in it, except for the House of Black and White. Everything is, sorry, that's horrible. Everything is somewhat gray in this world. There's no true bad guys, except for Meryn Trent, like what they do in the show to someone like Meryn Trent or something, where they're like, oh, let's watch him molest girls because everything else wasn't bad enough. So it's really even more rewarding when we see Arya kill him. So let's go into the live chat for a second. I hope Danny dies so I can watch all the Danny fanatics go fucking crazy and go nuts. And I hope I see that too. And anybody that might be, I think I see one person that's still on hold. The telephone calls, we will get to the telephone calls at the end of the show. We're going to get through. We don't have too many voicemails or messages tonight because something else came up in between the end of episode 5 and
wonder what.
I don't know what it was, King Mckay. I don't know. Something else just fucking appeared. But this isn't much more. Not so many people have so many questions. So we're gonna get to the questions and then we're gonna go to the phone lines for a little bit. And let's I'll pick up the pace a little bit here. Rant number 2. And oh my God, guys, stop asking for Ghost. Do you want him to go beyond the wall where death is certain? We wanted Summer, dead. We wanted Rickon, dead. We wanted Shaggy Dog, dead. We wanted Osha, dead. We wanted dead. We wanted Gendry, he's gonna probably die in the next episode. We wanted Nymeria, we got her alive, but people complain about fan service. Stop asking for fan service, then complain about it when they immediately take it away. Ghost is frolicking in the snow, making little hideaway bunkers for he and Nymeria to wait out the long night while making puppies. Deal with it. Let the dragons have their limelight so they can start dying off. The fucking end. Amen, Timo. Great stuff. I'm going to let that stand on its own there. Hey, Phil, it's Leslie from Chicago. Would it be awesome if Bran tells Cersei in person that she would only have 3 children, gold with their crowns and gold with their shrouds? That would make Cersei lose her shit, and Cersei, and then Cersei loses her baby. Mic drop. I'm too cruel. Holy shit. What the fuck?
What the currency is dead?
What the fuck? No, I'm sorry. I looked at, yeah, okay, you're looking at the live chat too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
A W with 2 lines?
Did we just get $10,000? Did we get a $10,000 donation? Holy shit. Holy shit, I can retire. I can actually do this full time now, King Mckay. It happened. Fuck you guys. I'm out of here. Screw you guys. I'm going to Jamaica to smoke some weed. Oh, I mean sandwich. Eat a sandwich. No, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the donation, Amanda. That is fucking incredible. And super chat. Oh, we got Phil Drink for the last super chat donation earlier. Let's do that, and let me spin the wheel really quick on that one. So, and to continue on this question, this is for Leslie. And fuck Jamie for continuing to drink the Cersei Kool-Aid. Bitch, that kid is gonna die. That witch only promised 3 children, and that's all. She's not getting the buy 3 get 1 free special. Hashtag hail Danny. Oh my fucking god. Great fucking comments. And some of these are just comments we're gonna kind of go through here. And hey everyone, my name is Gilden from Seattle. I have 2 things. I want to say first, why is there so much hate from the Game of Thrones community for Dany? It's because she is a woman in power, not physically killing people on her own. Don't get me wrong, although she's my favorite character, I get upset with her sometimes for the choices she makes, but it feels like people hate her as much as Cersei. My other question is, what was the look that Dany gave Jon when he was petting the Drogon and telling him he was leaving Dragonstone? Okay, petting Drogon and Dragonstone, it's I want to fuck you. It's
absolutely. She just wants dick.
Simple. Yeah, exactly. She wants his wolf dick. She wants the wolf dick. The dragon eggs need the wolf dick. It needs to happen. Don't get me wrong, Lotion. And for the Dany thing, why do you think people are so hard on Dany, King Mckay? That's an easy question, right? Let me give you the easy one. Why are people so hard on Dany?
She has every freak. Like you can't go wrong. Like, what are you gonna do? Like she's got dragons, she's got armies, she's been the main character forever. Everyone just loves to hate the person in power because she's got everything.
I agree. She has dragons, she has power, she has beauty, she got to have sex with Khal Drogo. I mean, like whatever, like so many things. Fuck Dany. But I think part of my frustration from Dany comes from her storyline and how much it just kind of went in circles there for a while, and my frustration with it. And I don't necessarily, when I say the things like I think she enjoys burning people, all this, I'm not saying that this is going to sound crazy here because you're like, oh, okay, you're fucked in the head. Yes, I want unlimited power. Just because she wants to burn people, I'm not saying I don't like her. I mean, I think I understand her perspective and I see the conflict that she's facing and having to deal with. When she burns people, she wins. It's one of those things that she's taught herself a bad habit, essentially, too, where every time she's up against it, her big thing is the fire. I go to the fire. I'm going to walk out the fire, get the Dothraki. I'm going to burn the slave lords, take the Unsullied. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. It's all with the fire, the Dracarys, blah, blah, blah. It's a crutch she leans on, and she should lean on it. She has fucking dragons. Of course she's gonna lean on it. But I'm not, that doesn't mean I don't like Dany. I just think it's a fact that she's a little, gets a little too into the burning. It's not a bad thing. So is Cersei Lannister has a boy, he must be named Dickon. Just Dickon. Just so the song lives on forever, and I would have to agree with that. It has to live on forever.
Dickon, Dickon, Dickon.
Now, Sean from LA says, Daenerys was I fucking Jon Snow. Yep, absolutely. And but if you had a screen to see what was going on through Jon's head, would it have been battle formations, military tactics against the dead? Was Jon's cock not resurrected with the rest of his body? King, is Jon as into Dany as Dany is into him?
I think yes, but like there's just so much there. He doesn't want to try, even though he really does want to try. He definitely wants to go for it. He just feels like there's too much on his plate, and if there's less on his plate, I think he'll make a move, or like he'll go in there, get that ass.
Yeah, I think when he gets the opportunity to, he'll take advantage of the situation. Jon Snow knows everything. So for Robert's grandmother was, oh, we already did this. Okay, we already asked this question. This is from Cinnamon Bun, just kind of a comment. The episode was an homage to the role-playing games. It was pretty much a building a party, fight zombies. We got a noble knight, Snow. We got a scout hammer guy, son of Baratheon, the wizard, Lord of Light. We got the beastly giant dude, the hound, the barbarians, the wildlings, the fool, Sir Davos. It's fucking hilarious. So, and there was tons of great pictures with the Warcraft sort of stuff going on with the team.
Yeah, I saw a lot of those. Yeah, I play a lot of D&Ds, and I like that quite a lot.
Yeah, I like that stuff too. And Joe and I have went through our Warcraft period too, so definitely could relate to that shit. And I don't personally, I played more in right after high school, that period of time, but all my friends, like I'd say pretty much most of my friends, like 90% of my friends, get together for weekly D&D games. And a friend of mine writes like D&D style books. He works for a company called Bedrock Games. So giving Brendan a shout out for Bedrock Games, for anyone into D&D kind of games. They make it some amazing tabletop stuff. So, hey, Sue from DC, love your show, love King Mckay. Excited to have him on your cast. My question is, did Dany do the right thing burning Dickon? Oh, we kind of already talked about this. I know Randall was asking for it, but he should, yeah, same question. But thank you for loving King Mckay. So I don't know about anyone, but can they make Dany and Jon stuff more obvious? Is there any way they won't? Because I may lose my lunch. Becky in New Orleans. We said this a couple of times, and one last time, King. Is there any way Jon and Dany don't bone this season?
Jon dies. That's the only way. If Jon dies,
I agree. That's probably the only chance. If they spend no more time together, it might not happen. Mm-hmm. That's it. A couple more questions in the text, and then we're going to go to the last voicemails, and then to your phone calls, and then sort of start to wrap things up not pretty soon, but in a few here. So I don't know about anyone, but can they make? Oh no, I already said that one. Is she really pregnant? We already talked about this. Did Davos go beyond the wall? Asks area code 308. No, Davos did not go beyond the wall. Remember, he said several times, "I'm not going. I can't fight."
It's my decision.
Yeah, it's my decision. I can't fight. It's my decision. So let's go back to, do we have any more text? No, we don't have any more text. Let's go to a couple more voice messages that we have. Let's go to, this is a message from Raven.
Hey, guys, it's Raven. Hey, Phil, Kate, Joe. Just want to give you a call. I know it's early in the morning for me, but I'm going to get the recap show if I get this. Love the show. Everything's going great, so it's going great. So I had a few points and a question. I thought it was pretty awesome how Gendry and Jon are bonding over their fathers, when in reality, Gendry's father killed Jon's father. It's a little messed up, but I like that, which is pretty cool. The other thing, too, is in the preview trailer, it looks like it's getting cold at Dragonstone, or there's a sense of dread. And I wonder if it's going to motivate Daenerys to go north and help Jon, or is Bran going to send a letter or Raven to their help because he sees Jon needs help? It's pretty interesting. I think by Sam giving the baby the book that Gilly was reading, the book is going to come with them on the trip to Winterfell. That's pretty cool. So that could be discovered later. And the last thing, if you have a second, is I think it's pretty cool how Jon bought him with the dragon, and at the end there, when the mom, when Dany was coming off the dragon, Drogon looked at her like, "Can we keep him, Mom?" It's pretty cool. But yeah, all right, y'all have a great one. I'll catch y'all later.
Great call. And I would also add that Drogon kind of gives him the cat wink too, when he bats his eyelashes at him. It's called a cat kiss. when a cat looks at you and blinks, it means it's kissing you, kind of. And Drogon kind of gives him. Wouldn't it be awesome, King, if Drogon says "fuck you, Danny" and grabs Jon and goes, you go ride the other one. You go ride Viserion or fucking Rhaegal. Get the fuck out of here.
It reminded me of like how you go to like someone's house and like a cat that's always like hostile approves of you only. It's that special feeling. It's like, oh, doesn't normally cuddle up with anyone. That was Drogon with Jon, and it would be really cool just to see this swoop in, take a dragon, fly off. It's mine now.
It's true. Yeah, that would be amazing. I want to see those two bond more. Where Drogon's like, no, he's mine. Exactly. We're keeping him, and that's it. So let's go over. I was gonna play this gentleman's voice messages, but instead, let's go to the calls. Let's take a couple calls here. We have a couple of voice messages from two people that are on hold. So let's just take them live instead. And please, callers, if you have seen the spoilers, please, or spoilers, seen the leaked episode, please be cool about it. As we put you guys on the air, no, none of that shit. None of that shit. And let's take Jay's call. He's been on hold for a little while here. So Jay, welcome to the show. What's going on, buddy?
I'd like to comment on three things.
Do it. Take over.
Okay.
Yours.
All right, the Tyrion thing. All right, here's what happened with Tyrion. Remember the first 4 seasons? Every single plan that Tyrion put into action worked. Remember, he was like the genius that he got into trouble, but it was never because like his plans didn't work out. It was because people were like behind the scenes plotting behind, like like making moves from like 3 different people away, like Baelish and stuff like that. When he went to the area, or when he got captured and was taken to the area or whatever. But like pretty much all of his plans pretty much worked. So what the writers came up with is, if Tyrion's plans keep working like they did when Danny takes over, then this whole thing would have been done in like 4 episodes, because every single plan that Tyrion had would have worked. It would have been done, and like they would have conquered everything, and there would be no story to go with. So that's why Tyrion's plans aren't working, not because he's like betraying Danny. What was the other 2 things I wanted to comment on? It was the people that want to be on the wall. I pretty much think they have, like, besides 2 of them, I pretty much think the rest of them have plot armor protecting them for the rest of the show. And I don't think we're in the show part where like people like Ned Stark and like other main characters die. Like we're past that point because of the fact that we have so little of a show left. So, and because like, I don't know, certain characters are just protected by what the story wants to do with them and what the fans want the story to do with them. So, like, you know, I'm pretty sure that everyone, maybe except Tormund, is safe, and I think the guy, the wizard guy, and the guy that's been brought back to life like 7 or 8 times or whatever, how many,
Barrack and
is going to die for the last time. Hello?
Hi. Hey, yeah, Barrack and Thoros. Good stuff, Jay. Awesome call.
Yeah. I had one more thing.
Yep, one more.
The Sansa and Arya, the Arya thing. Sansa and Arya, like, may be both right about certain things, but I think it's more prudent for Sansa to listen to Arya, because Sansa didn't go off and become a trained natural killer, and if Arya gets pissed off enough, she could add Sansa to the list.
love it, Jay. Awesome stuff as always, buddy. Good to talk to you. So that's our good buddy Jay. Now, King Mckay, we didn't really get a chance to talk about this in some of the questions, but where do you side? And I think I was babbling during when it did come up. Where do you side between the Arya and Sansa situation?
My entire channel, I've always been like pretty critical of Sansa. I did like that video about Sansa portraying Jon that got like 10,000 dislikes. So, I've been pretty like Sansa haters. They can find a home on my channel. But in this particular moment, I think Arya is really just in the wrong area, because she's like an assassin. She's been on like the little like with all the like small folk and stuff for ages. She shouldn't be giving political advice. Like she could be wary, but like I feel like she's in the wrong in this area.
it hurts me to say it, and because I am so with you. Ultimately, I think Sansa's made a lot of really stupid mistakes, but I think in this situation, Arya is out of her dude, you're out of your element. Or even if you're right, or you may be right, but you're kind of being an asshole about the situation when it really comes down to it. I think Sansa knows how to walk this walk, and with these people that they're dealing with in the North, Sansa just understands the game more. And I think Arya, because of everything she's faced and because of the way their relationship ended off, has a trouble comprehending probably everything that Sansa's been through and like how much she does, even though she doesn't always do the right thing and she fucks up. Like, I think that's why I think Sansa needs to do something big to prove to Arya that she's really cares about the family, so to speak. And I just wonder if that's even possible, or if Arya is just too far gone. And again, it's two things. Sansa can be fucking wrong and have all sorts of issues, but Arya is sort of out of her element in this situation, and you can't just go killing, stabbing people randomly because they disagree with Jon. You can yell at them, you can be a little bit more angry with them, you can be a little bit more forceful, but in this one situation, I tend to side with Sansa as well. Sorry, Timo. Timo's shading me right now. Dub, welcome to the live chat for the very first time. Great to see you. Great to see everyone in the live motherfucking chat. So many of you guys. Arya is better at the game, says SM. Depends what game you're playing. If you're playing the game of making sure you're satisfying a lot of people and keeping people pacified until your king comes back because you need all those men to fight the dead, then Sansa's playing it a little bit better. You can't just go stabbing people. You just can't do that. I'm sorry. You can't. Not in that situation. That's, again, a Joffrey Ramsay thing. In that that's something you do. That's Anakin Skywalker when he's talking to Padme. I'll make them listen. You know, what if they don't listen to you? I'll make them listen, Padme. And preach, Phil. Timo. Oh, Timo's giving me the shame bell. I'm getting the big shame bell. and Jay's getting some love. So we're going to take a few more calls, and then we really do appreciate King Mckay's time and joining us tonight. And so let's take area code 781. Area code 781. Who are you? Where are you calling from? And what's your question?
Yeah, it's Hannibal. I'm from Boston or Cambridge or whatever.
Dude, what's up, dude? Dude, hey, Hannibal, what's going on, dude?
Dude? I was just thinking, right, that part when Jon is, patting Drogon, you see the fucking size of that motherfucker's nostrils? I think he's on PEDs. I think he's cutting up big lines of fucking dragon glass and snorting them before.
You think he's doing performance-enhancing dragon drugs?
And he was thanking Jon. He's like, "Hey man, thanks for fucking giving me the supply of fucking this dragon glass, man. This shit fucking is killer." That's
the killer shit.
That's all I'm gonna say, man.
No.
I'm fucking around, man.
No, and if a dragon's been drinking too much,
those fucking nostrils are fucking killer. He's like, "Hey man." So he's on PEDs, dude. He's not fucking around. They just gotta get Rhaegal and Viserion to fucking start, doing some shit.
Yeah, we gotta hope that they don't have any.
That's all, huh? What's up?
Oh no, I was gonna say that we gotta hope that we don't take any roid rage with him or something. When Drogon's too drunk to fly home, he does some dragon glass and he's okay. So let's take two more calls here and then call it a stream. Then go to the chat a little bit and then we'll call it a stream. Or here's area code 985. Area code 985. Welcome to the show.
Hey, it's Phil Mckay, it's Raven. How y'all doing?
Hey, Raven. How's it going, buddy?
Good. I got 3 quick points, if you don't mind.
Do it.
A point earlier talking about how Davos keeps saying that he's a terrible fighter. Well, somebody else has been saying the exact same thing, which is Bronn talking about Jaime. So what if at some point Jaime's in a position to try to kill Daenerys again and ends up being a left-handed fight with Bronn? With Davos, sorry. Jaime versus Davos in a quick little, left-handed duel. I think that'd be pretty funny.
So
what?
One second, Raven. 1 second. King Mckay. Who wins in a fight? Davos versus a left-handed Jaime.
They both roll their knees and just fall on the ground awkwardly. It's just like a not even shaky cam fight. 5 minutes to solidly awkwardly slapping metal together, trying to pretend like they're fighting, and just both fail miserably. That would be amazing.
Raven's second point.
Second point is, what if the whole point of the Hound going north is to get him ready for Clean Bowl coming up? He has to see the undead and see the worst of it, so that if he has to fight the mountain, he won't have the shock of the undead because it'll be beaten out of him pretty much.
Raven, I'll take you one step further on that one. And if he does somehow manage to come back from this death mission here and accompany, and then him and John somehow bond or whatever because they went through this whole situation, and then he's in John's Kingsguard or whatever like that, and he ends up in wherever they when John brings the White Walker or the White to Cersei to show. He actually gets to see the mountain standing there and like, what the fuck is that? And that's how they're gonna act. That's how they're actually gonna see each other again, is in that sort of context. And that might be like, oh, who the fuck is that? Wait, I thought he was dead. And then that's gonna lay some seeds for possible Kagimbo shit going on.
Oh yeah. And the third point, if you don't mind me saying, earlier in season 2, I think it was, I'm pretty sure Missandei referred to herself as no one. So my question is she a faceless assassin? And when she finds out that John's been brought back from the dead, will she try to take his life of the god's death, and will Arya stop her from doing that? That maybe her whole purpose is to be a faceless person to kill Missandei. And if not, even more tragic, what if at the end of the show, Arya has to kill John? Because, he died and then came back. So he basically robbed the death, from the faceless god, death god. And that'd be really screwed up either way. Either Missandei dies or John, by her hand, God.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Have a good night, my friend. Great call as always.
You too.
So do you think there's any deeper anything to Missandei? Or she's just on face value of what we see? I think she's just face value. Is she?
Yeah, for the show, definitely. Like, there's more mystery to her in the books, but like in the show, I don't think they're gonna really expand on her character more. They've already put too much screen time on her with the Grey Wormhole thing, but so I don't think, unless they like really ramp up her involvement with Dany in the next like 3 episodes, I don't think she's gonna be a super important part of the series.
Ooh, Iron Throne. I agree with you. Iron Throne says, Ultimate Troll, Hound and Mountain in the same place, but Clegane never actually happens.
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't.
They wouldn't. Everything that we've seen, and okay, and this isn't a bad thing. I personally don't mind, quote unquote, some fan service things if it works and feels good at the end of the series. That shit has to happen. And if they've given us all this other shit that they've, they didn't bring the fucking Hound back. They didn't do that. They didn't bring him into this fight and put him with John to not have him ultimately, eventually, in opposition against Cersei to make this happen. The show's given us so many other things I still believe we're gonna get that. We're gonna get some sort of element of that in some way. Oh, we got Mark Hunt doing a $10 super chat donation. Do you think Davos will send word that John and company need help? Davos fought at the Battle of the Bastards. I think he's going to be a last resort in that situation, or somehow I hope they have an out of some sort to help them out and get them out of trouble in any possible scenario. And my stream keeps loading. I'm typing fast with no fill. Oh, I'm sorry, William. Yeah, they should just air both episodes now and just do it Netflix style at that point. Brandon, the Arya thing is a waste. Do you think, just to go back on that for a second, do you think we'll get Clegane? Or do you think we'll get those two fighting? I mean, whatever. Do you think we'll get an interaction between those two characters?
I don't think they wouldn't have brought, like, when we got that talk between the Hound and I think it was Thoros, and he brought up with Tormund, he brought up the fact that he was pushed into the fire. Like, they wouldn't bring that up again if they weren't going to bring some kind of conclusion to that arc, like with Tormund bringing that up again.
I agree with you 100%. And let's take 757. I think this is Antoine. So let's take Antoine's call right now. What's going on, buddy?
Hello, Phil. This is Antoine Thomas. I just came back from the protest this evening. And matter of fact, you and I should stand and try to take that Tywin Lannister statue down. That was a joke.
Fuck Tywin.
My question. My question is, what happened to Admiral Tully and Rosamund Frey? It's like no one gave an update or show a scene of them. Are they okay?
Good question. You actually left a voicemail. We were going to play on this too. King, what happened to Edmure Tully and in the phrase? Will we get back into those characters again before the end of the series, or are all those kind of loose ends just going to be held out there for the show?
With the phrase dead, I think that what Jamie told him would happen is going to happen. I don't like he's just going to live out his life with his wife, and he may even like be like in the end somewhere where we see him like becoming the Lord of the Trident again if things conclude in that kind of way, because with his wife, because all the Freys are dead and they're the only ones left to carry on both those houses, both the Tully and the Frey houses. So that like they may mention it small, but I don't think it's going to be a big thing that's going to really be reintroduced. Especially on this season.
I agree too. It's one of those things that maybe they could have got into if there was more seasons, but and more episodes, but I don't think so. And last call of the evening, one more time. Let's take let's see what Jay's final point of the evening is. Jay, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, so I just want to say there are ways you can defend John without like going to the extreme of chopping off heads.
Yep.
And when Arya said the reason you're not defending him is because you do want to take over. She was right about that part of it, and I also think that that Arya is more likely to come back down to like being sane and not like trying to chop off everybody's head than Sansa would be to step up and actually do it when needed.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree with you too. I want to believe that Sansa could do something, but I tend to agree with you, Jay.
Yeah.
Good.
But, oh yeah, and one other thing. The bodies at the wall, I think they're going to be taken care of by the sword because remember, one of those swords is a flaming sword. So in order to like not have people come back, they're just gonna use that sword or something else. Oh, and one other thing, about Danny burning people, it's kind of not the same as when the Mad King did it because burning people during fire takes like 3 seconds, so it's not like you're torturing them like when Nance got burned or when Shireen got burned. It's like your ashes in like seconds. So to me, it's a little bit different. All right, that was it.
Good stuff, Jay. I mean, I see what you're saying there, but ultimately to me, it's, 6 of one, half a dozen of your mother there. But I do agree with this, that is there really a difference between, there is from a PR standpoint. Where the last Targaryen burned people, so you may wanna not quite
rebranding.
Yeah, you need to kind of rebrand your campaign there and be the Misa for a while there. But destroying a house and rumors that, I mean, it just feeds into your enemy's agenda and feeds into people being against you. But that being said, I can see the other side of it. All those people, once she burned them, every person that was a holdout kneeled the fuck down. I mean, why didn't she burn all those people that didn't kneel at first? She just chose to, so she could have burned a lot more people, I guess. She chose to burn 2 people instead of hundreds of people that didn't kneel the first time. I guess that's progress or something. So or something. So let's go to the live chat for a few seconds before we call this an evening. Again, huge thank you to King Mckay. And if you haven't already, definitely check out his channel, and you can find the link to that in the description box below. Hope this isn't the only time you join us. Hopefully we'll have you back again. If this wasn't too horrifying for you, we'll make sure we try to get you back again next season with feedback shows. And I know you also cover the show Vikings. Timo would hate me if I didn't mention this. So hopefully maybe we can get you on during the Vikings season as well for a
I'll be keen for that. That sounds like we're only few people out here doing Vikings, which I want more people to get into Vikings because there's not many content creators at the moment.
It's an interesting time too, not to go too far down on that, and we'll take a couple more comments in the live chat, but it's going to be an interesting season. It's obviously a transitional season on Vikings, and I'm very curious to see if all these new players and the players that we still have can carry the show with the departure of the main actor. So it's gonna be an interesting time on Vikings. So so the human heart. Let's go into the live chat. Any questions in the live chat? Now is the time. Otherwise, holy shit, Timo with a $10 donation. So can King Mckay come back for some Viking streams? I just did it, Timo. And we did a spin for everyone. Drinks for Timo. Yeah, perfect timing, Timo. You and me. I knew. You told me to make sure. Oh, we also have a $5 donation from Voltron. Would it be cool if Cersei has a stillborn and then brings the baby back, much like the Mountain?
Oh.
Will she? If that happened, would she give it to Qyburn for experiments? Probably. Fucking probably. Oh, gross. Yeah, I hope Danny doesn't get carried away with burning it. People, House Tarley was an established house. Had to take a sandwich break. Nice, Voltron. Thank you so much to everyone in the live chat. You guys have been amazing tonight, and all the people that got our questions and comments in as we start to wrap things up here. Seeing if we get any quick questions in the live chat before we call the stream. Hello from Australia. Welcome, Australia. You're in the same hemisphere as King Mckay.
Yeah.
And
going to VidCon Australia because I'm going to VidCon Australia.
Cersei's baby's gonna be the Valancourt. Phil, do The Last Kingdom too. Do you watch The Last Kingdom? Should I be watching?
Absolutely. I did one video. Should you watch? And I'm planning to do full reviews and previews and everything when that comes out. So that should be fun.
Do the dragons hate committing violence? I think Drogon likes committing violence personally. I think he absolutely
loves it.
He loves every second of it. No, okay. We'll definitely take some questions in the chat right now. So thank you so much. Will we see Rhaegar this season? Asks Maiden of Darkness.
I don't think we'll get a proper flashback.
You think we'll get a proper flashback, or we won't?
I don't think we will. I think it'll be all just like texts and hearsay. I don't think we'll actually see him as an actor.
Interesting. Okay. I tend to think we might get a flashback. I think it makes sense, but maybe not till the beginning of next season. So I'm not sure if we'll see him this season. So that would be something worth watching. Facts that shit to corporate before it's too late. What was that? Hey Torvid. Hey everyone. Serial. Cersei's storyline should have ended. It's about time. About the dead versus the breathing. It's getting annoying. Why isn't she being killed yet? Will Cersei last this season, King Mckay?
I did a video on that. Yes. That's why they're stalling it, because there's no way for her to live into season 8 if they didn't stall out the season.
Yeah, you were talking about that. That's the whole kind of basis of why they've done her storyline this way this season, and they've done Dany not attacking it. To me, from a television standpoint of just looking at it from a writing standpoint, I hate when writers write from the end point. When they're like, we want to do these things, so we have to write reasons why these things happen. That's why I think you get this mission behind the wall to get a White Walker. And to me, it felt I didn't like necessarily how it quickly came together, and I still didn't on a rewatch. I think it's a stupid plan, and I think it's I just think it's stupid.
There's just no reason for it. Like it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
It's a dumb idea.
It's a dumb, and I love how Dan and Dave in there, and I know I'm this second time addressing this. After the episodes, they do these little interviews where they talk about it, and they mention the Thorn thing about bringing the arm to King's Landing. Oh yeah, that disintegrated. Then why didn't you show us that? What the fuck? So that happened. So shit's happening. That's more stuff that you could have shown us. Oh, but you didn't have. But we don't have enough story. Yeah, because if you skip shit like that, that's why we don't have enough story, assholes. Like that was such an asshole moment that they said that. It was so like matter of fact too. Yeah, everyone knows that the arm disintegrated. Yeah, we showed that, didn't we? Actually, you didn't show that. Oh, no one remembers. Fuck that. Your mom's question is, why is Sansa useless as fuck? Your mom, perfect question, good question. And I think ultimately it all comes down with Sansa. If I really want to analyze why people hate Sansa so much, and I think all of it really comes down to season 1 and how she took sides against the family, and you never say sides against, you never take the side against the family. In that one situation with Arya and the direwolf, and then her direwolf being died, I think the Sansa hate started there, and it just grew. And I think that's what it's all about. Why do you think people hate Sansa so much, King?
Because it's kind of like why people hate Dany. She just didn't do anything. For like this, it was the same repeat victim storyline over and over again all the way till like now. She just constantly one abuser to the next abuser to the next abuser, getting used, never really being her own character at all. Every single time we're like, oh, Dark Sansa, she's gonna do something cool. No, it's just more of the same. Just more of her just getting rolled over by other characters.
Yeah, and it's not that you wish bad things upon the character. Yeah, she's had bad shit happen to her. Meryn Trent slapped her around. She had to deal with all that horrible shit after that fact. When she left King's Landing is when the horrible shit really started to happen to her. And but that doesn't mean this is the separation. Just because that stuff happens to her, it's bad. I feel bad for her, but still, fuck Sansa. Sorry, I meant that up when it said fuck Sansa, and I never got the timing right of it. But ultimately, it still doesn't mean the character can't be predictable or annoying or this or that. Both things can be. It's not mutually exclusive. I do feel bad for the things she went through. No one should have to go through those things. They were fucking horrible. Hanging out with Joffrey like that all the time. That's fucking awful. But she got to marry Tyrion. He was an all right guy to her and stuff. But everything that happened with Ramsay was fucking ridiculously miserable. And I don't wish that upon my fucking, worst enemy or anything. But that doesn't mean I still can't say fuck Sansa for some of the fucking decisions she makes and some of the ways she acts and some of the foolhardy things and some of the ways she shows selfish behavior. And that's why this situation with Arya is so tough, because I think Arya's more right than Sansa in some of this. It's the other way around. I think Sansa has some points in their discussion that they have, and I find myself going, "Oh wow, Sansa has a point here." So I got to be fair, dude. I can't hate the hate. When Arya's wrong, Arya's just not used to people right now, and she needs to adjust. And I think she will adjust, and ultimately will be a better person than Sansa, because she is a better person, but she needs to adjust to being around people and learning about what interacting and needing people is. She couldn't even work within the substructure of the House of Black and White. She fucking Bruce Wayne, Christian Bale, Bruce Wayne, that Batman Begin the House of Black and White, essentially. She was like, fuck you guys, I'm leaving. Oh, Mark Hunt, what is Littlefinger doing with Lord Glover and Lord Royce? What was that letter he gave that one girl? I'm just gonna go. The letter was ultimately I think it all had to do with the Sansa letter that she wrote she was forced to write that to sail more with seeds of discontent. What the fuck is Littlefinger doing, King Mckay? What the fuck is Littlefinger? Make me believe Littlefinger. And we talked about this a little bit earlier too, but what the fuck, Littlefinger, dude? What's going on? Help, Littlefinger splain here a little bit.
I think everything we definitely know everything he did there was just like show for Arya. So I don't think there's anything important he's actually doing when he was talking to Royce and when he was seeing that letter away. I think it was all just to kind of make the conflict between Arya and Sansa, because he knows that Sansa always falls to him whenever she's in trouble, whenever things start to get bad. So she just wants to make shit terrible for her, and then she'll just fall on his advice and his comfort. And I personally think it's not going to work out. That this is the time that Sansa and the Starks will figure out what's going on and be like, no, we're done with this stuff. We're going to get him this time. Especially with Bran there.
Yeah, especially with Bran there. Yeah, thank you for saying that at the end, because ultimately when it really comes down to it, I've said this a lot and I'm like a broken fucking record, but if the minute he says that Chaos the Ladder, this side thing that I said to my nemesis, however long it was, 15 years, or no, 2 years ago, in like randomly, unless Littlefinger's going around telling everyone Chaos is the ladder. But as far as we know, from the television show perspective, well, shit's happening all the time. Dead people's arms are getting brought to King's Landing and turning to dust, and we never fucking see it. So maybe Littlefinger's going around saying, yeah,
Chaos is a ladder. Chaos.
Maybe there's a big sign on the front of Harrenhal that says "Chaos is a ladder" or something. Like who knows? I mean, apparently shit's happening that we don't see on the show. But ultimately, at that point right there, I am getting the fuck out of there, dude. I am running away. Fuck that. I'm out. You got a little psychic boy that actually is calling you out on shit. Dude, run. Littlefinger should run. And I said this before, run back to Cersei or run to the Vale and hide in the Vale and have your soldiers like protect the Vale, which is impregnable. You know, like what the fuck?
Well, they can't use the area anymore because it's wintered over. But yeah, when his face kind of dissolved after hearing that, I thought he was going to do something big, like with around Bran. We haven't seen it yet, like some kind of reaction to that with Bran and him. So I can't wait for that if we actually get it.
Yep. So we got a couple. Did we get more people? Sorry, King, I'm keeping you here longer than I said. I'm forcing your attention. Stay here, King. You're not getting away now. And Sam had, this is from area code 202. I think this is from Jay. Sam had to bring the scrolls. It had the annulment and marriage certificates. John's going to need that documented and proof for his heritage. Do you think that's going to become an actual issue on the show with John's heritage and him vying for Targaryen, I was gonna say supremacy, but that buying for I'm the true heir to the throne, that sort of stuff. Do you think that's actually going to be a factor on the show?
I really hope not. I think they're gonna use it as a way to like push. They've always had this like theme of like houses and family names shouldn't matter. It's just your personality, why you feel like kind of what Daenerys always says, it's my right. But everyone who follows her follows it because they chose her. I think this is the moment when John will realize his heritage. Everyone will be like, yo, you're actually this Targaryen. He'll be like, I don't care. I'm Ned's son. He raised me. I'm a Stark. I'm a Snow. I don't care about this. And it'll be like that theme getting pushed along through John. It won't actually be like this big claim.
I agree with you too. I don't think he's gonna give two shits, except for, oh wait, does that mean I get a dragon? You know, and then
yeah.
And then Ghost is riding on the back of the dragon and flying through at the end. That would be the only situation that would be good. Oh, we got Lady Wolverton. Great to see you. Great to see everyone in the live motherfucking chat. You guys are amazing. Why did Sam blank on the annulment of Rhaegar? Was he tired and fed up? But holy fuck, come on, Sam. What the hell? Littlefinger hating on Sansa is too easy. I'm hating on Gillies, to someone in the live chat. Fully grown redhead Sansa is a thing to behold, but Cersei was pretty easy on the eyes before the Davy Jones haircut. Sansa is so pathetic. She has to be saved by Reek. Come on. Will we see the Greyjoys in the next 2 episodes?
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen anything from Theon. Like, we only got one small sip of him getting pulled up, and then he kind of rocked up with Jon, and that's really like they've kind of left it at the side. I was like, they had that whole storyline of getting Yara, and that I think there will be episode 7. I think that's what's going to happen there, because I don't think Euron can survive till next season, so he has to die this season, I think. And if that can be done through the whole Theon plot revived in the very end, that's what I'm thinking at the moment.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see where they're going with that plot, because we haven't seen Euron, we haven't seen Theon in a couple episodes. Are they just going to pop up next week or in episode 6, or are they just going to pop up in episode 7, or are we just not going to see them until next season? That would be a little weird. I don't know how things are going to go. Lady, hey, how's it going, Lady Wolverton? Den of Lady Wolverton, awesome people, lots of love to her. SM, John will be a Stark and he'll want to embrace his mother and father. It will get him closer to his aunt and uncle Dany and Tyrion.
No, Tyrion.
Do you think Tyrion? I'm not sure if I know exactly. I'd have to go back and watch. What are your opinions? I think you're with me more on the. Are you a Tyrion, a Targaryen person?
I think that the Tyrion Targaryen thing was really important to the relationship between Tywin and Tyrion, and how Tywin kind of always had a thought in the back of his mind. I don't think he's actually a Targaryen, because he just saw too many parallels to Tywin. I think that he's actually a Lannister. He's like the definition of what a Lannister is.
Yeah,
but it's still an important part of their character relationship in his past.
I agree. I've said this many times, and because Joe's really big time, like, oh, Tyrion's a Targaryen. It's a fucking fact. I love the thought more that his connection with dragons have more to do with his intellectuality and connecting with them on a more intellectual level. And I love having Tyrion be Tywin's true son. I feel like that just makes much more sense. It's poetic. It just works. It's great. I'm not saying it would deball it if he wasn't. It would just make it mean something different. But I in my heart, I think Tyrion's a Lannister. I just do. I think he's a Lannister. He truly embraces it. I don't think for the show to go there, excuse me. The book's different story. We could have a whole discussion about the books besides we're talking about the show right now. The show, they didn't do Tyrion's first wife. I don't see them even going there. How would they even approach that right now? They're so wrapped up in talking about Jon's parentage. You're telling me in 8 episodes they're going to do Jon's parentage, the war, and then somehow introduce the fact that Tyrion is a Targaryen? Because who's going to know that? Who knew that? Who's going to know that the Mad King raped? Is that going to be in the scrolls? Mad King raped. Is Sam going to discover that? Gilly's going to say, Tywin Lannister got wife got raped by the Mad King and bore a dwarf. I mean, I just don't see how they put that in the show and make it a thing. And if they do it with the dragon connection, it's just going to again be hearsay. And they've already done that where the dragons accept Tyrion, but I like it better that they don't see him as a threat. They can see him on a connection. I don't know. Is that similar to how you feel about it?
Yeah. I think it would cheapen the relationship he has with Dany and the dragons to just make him a Targaryen. Like, it's better to have it just purely through his relationship with Dany and how Dany trusts him, and he wants to do right by Dany, and the dragons can sense that. It'd just make the relationship worse.
Absolutely. Shugi dookie quack quack. I don't know what that means, Ryan Evans, but that's amazing. Don't think they'll be covered Tyrion Targaryen theory in this show. Yeah, King of Winter, and that is a fucking scary photo, dude. King of Winter. Don't think they'll cover the Tyrion Targaryen theory in this. There's just not enough time. I agree. Tyrion is a Targaryen. Get the same response from the dragons Jon did in season 6. Fucking Moon Boy is a Targaryen. Everyone's a Targaryen. Everyone is a fucking Targaryen. The whole world is a Targaryen. Well, no, considering the world of Westeros and how many people the Targaryens were having sex with and doing that, and probably how many bastards are out there, the whole modern day, or the modern as we know it in Westeros right now, the one we watch right now, could all have Targaryen blood in them. I mean, that's
out of every family, they're the least likely to spread because they're normally in the same tree.
Actually,
out of every family.
Dude, that's actually a really good point. I take back what I said. That's a really good point, because they've mostly kept it in the family. There was a few Targaryens that married outside, or there was that one Targaryen king that sort of married all the lords to kind of put it out there, put that Targaryen love out there. Gilly says oh shit, dropping shit all over the place. I like the fact that Tywin hated Tyrion, but Tyrion was the best thing you could want from a Lannister. In my eyes, Jon will always be a Stark, and Tyrion will always be a Lannister. I mean, either way, no matter what with Jon, he's a Stark. I mean, we know we know it's not even a matter. Why am I even saying this? It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of a fact. I mean, Jon is half Targaryen, but he's also Stark. I mean, that's a fact of what he is. He's got the ice and fire going through his veins. He's Azor High. He's a cool dude, and he has a small penis, and he's amazing, and he likes pussy wonderfully. He's the fucking king of the shit, okay? He's on my shoulder right now. Look at him. He's right back there. Look at him. He's always hanging out. Okay, he craps sunshine and pisses rainbows. Okay, he's fucking Jon Snow. Whatever. Sir Pounce is a Lannister. True fucking Lannister. True Lannister. We'll take 1 or 2 more questions, and then I'll let King Mckay go, because I'm just keeping him hostage here. I'm like, no, this is your first live stream. You're continuing, motherfucker. It's not over yet. I'm like the Willy Wonka ride on the boat. Is it raining? Is it pouring? Is a hurricane blowing? You're not getting off this fucking ride, motherfucker. Sorry, dude. Okay, so Timo asks, what other show do you watch or would recommend could be currently finished or on, other than Vikings that we talked about, King Mckay, and we already talked about Last Kingdom? What's another show you could possibly recommend to people?
Old shows, Stargate, brilliant. I love my sci-fi.
Are you a Star Trek fan at all?
I'm too young for that. I just couldn't. I went back to like the earliest I could possibly find and tried watching it. I'm way too young, and I can't watch stuff that ratio.
Yeah, it seems too dated to you. I get it.
Yeah.
It's certain shows like that for me too that are past a certain point and I can't watch because it just seems too dated to me and I can't relate to it. The only one else, here comes the shilling Deep Space Nine thing. The only one I'll say to give it another chance, is Deep Space Nine. It's a really good character progression and comes off like a modern fucking show. But if you ever want to get in, but yeah, Stargate's great. That is
Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty is a fucking amazing.
Pickle Rick.
Yeah, amazing show. I cannot recommend Rick and Morty enough. Incredible, especially if you're a Back to the Future fan. I cannot recommend that show enough. South Park, obviously. If people don't watch South Park, why not watch fucking great shit. What have I been watching? Oh, coming up soon. Obviously, if you've been into it, I think it might even be released tonight. I might not be sleeping tonight. I might be watching it. I think the Defenders is being released sometime in the next couple of days on Netflix, which if you've all been into the Netflix universe, let's try to pretend the whole Loras Tyrell as the Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Let's pretend that didn't happen. Let's just back away from that quietly. It didn't happen. The other 3 series were really awesome, especially Daredevil and Jessica Jones. I think they were on a different level. Daredevil season 1 and Jessica Jones season 1 were I think like on some of my favorite season shows. So I'm actually really excited for that. You got Sigourney Weaver in it. The Punisher is going to make an appearance as well. So I'm very much into that particular cinematic or television cinematic universe. So that's a show I'm highly excited for that's coming out in the next couple of days. So the Defenders for me. And yeah, 1 Secret Targaryen's enough for me. No more Targaryens. Hair Maiden's Tale, says Leanna Flynn. I've heard some good stuff about that show. Defenders come out on Friday. Thank you, Timo. Stranger Things, someone said. Archer. I've never actually watched Archer, but a lot of people have suggested it to me. Should I be watching Archer?
I don't know. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, no, I've heard lots of good things about Archer. I've never actually watched it.
This one was pretty good.
Dub says, I donated. Can I get a spin? Did I miss your donation, Dub? Here we go. I'll give you a spin, motherfucker. Here you go. I haven't watched Preacher. Have you ever watched Preacher?
No.
No, I haven't watched that. Westworld. Westworld.
Yeah, Westworld. I love Westworld.
I love Westworld too. Great fucking show. Maybe when we do Westworld, we can get you on a Westworld recap as well. Joe hates Westworld, so I'd love to get you on that. One thing I'm going to talk about Westworld after the spin. I don't know if you've heard it yet. To cross over to 2 of our shows where we talk about. Floki was just cast on Westworld.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I don't think that bodes well for his character in Vikings, but he's got to be like 90 years old in the era that we're going to be talking about, and I assume that we're going to get a time jump in Vikings. So it would make sense that Floki would kind of just fade into the background and kind of just be someone that comes back in visions or something like that, and he could become a regular on Westworld. So I'm very excited for Westworld season 2. I'm curious if they can keep up the same level of intensity that I was into it in season 2. But with a Nolan working on it, it always makes me feel confident. I think they're one of those shows that it's not going to come out till it's ready. It got delayed so many times the first time. So I don't think Jonathan Nolan's going to put out shit. I just don't think so. Yeah.
They're not going to cut it short like Game of Thrones just to rush it out. They're going to make sure it's done. It's in houses. The other thing about I was going to review Westworld, but like I just didn't. I was constantly getting tripped by all the mysteries, so I didn't know what was happening. Like for Game of Thrones, I can normally predict stuff. I didn't predict a single thing in Westworld. It just got me every time.
Yeah,
so I feel like
me too, and that's what I fucking love about a show. And you got, by the way, Dub, you got filled drinks, so I'll be taking a drink here. I was so mad that Rome was canceled. I've heard amazing things about Rome's amazing.
Rome, absolutely amazing show. Definitely should watch all of it.
Great show, and we had Nick Hodges from History Buffs here a couple of weeks ago, and he's going to be doing a review on Rome pretty soon too. So now could be a very good opportunity for you guys to watch Rome, and then watch Nick's review and how historically accurate it is. But Rome is a very important show for Game of Thrones to exist. Broke, I missed your question. Ask it again. I fucking missed it, dude. Love a show that's not tied by a fucking book, and that's what's very interesting about very awesome about Westworld. It's not tied to anything. It was just kind of. And what I also loved about Westworld was within the mystery and the intensity of it, it also had a sci-fi element to it as well. And
I always like sci-fi and fantasy. So those things can kind of merge together in both Game of Thrones and these ones. It's just great.
Yeah, great show. Gecko says Westworld will be back in 2018. Yeah, and I blame Westworld for this whole Game of Thrones coming back in 2019 here. This is my one last Game of Thrones question for you. How pissed off are you? Or how frustrating is it that Game of Thrones might not come back till 2019?
See, as a fan, I'm immensely pissed off. As a YouTuber, that means more content.
Dude,
so
good point.
That's stretching it out. Good.
And I never do off-season Game of Thrones content. I gotta start just doing like theory podcasts and shit like that. Just do it. But you're right. Like it's a good anticipation thing. But as a fan, I'm just like, fuck this. I want to see these episodes now. Wolf Gaming says, I want a show like Vikings done on Richard the Lionheart or Robert the Bruce. That would be epic. Lady Wolferton says, I love Rome. Rome is amazing. Jimbo says The Man in the High Castle is great. Broke by Blackman says, love a show that is not tied by a fucking book. Oh yeah, fucking great. Rome was great for 2 seasons. Al, Red Sox fan, should have been back though for more episodes. I agree. Well, in the book, it doesn't matter what the book says. Floki is the man. Timo asks, do you watch The 100 or Supernatural? Do you watch either of those shows?
I watched The 100. I actually quite liked it. Even though it's a teen drama, I don't really like teen dramas. I really liked season 2 ending. I won't spoil it or anything, but it was a bittersweet ending. And that's kind of like, I want an ending like that for Game of Thrones. One where like, I hated how it ended, but loved it as well. Because like it resolved the huge tension of the entire season, or last 2 seasons, but then was also like horrifying at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's what I want for Game of Thrones. Resolved, but horrifying.
The horrifying ending. I'm afraid that the show's going to end a little bit too happy, hippie, trippy at the end, and I hope that's not the case. Mark, Murder, She Wrote. Angela Lansbury, great show. That was my favorite of all those investigating shows like Matlock or whatever. Murder, She Wrote was the best one. It was all shucksy. Columbo was also cool too. That's the basis of my Davos, I'm no big city lawyer character or something like that. But that, I'm sort of doing a Columbo thing there. But yeah, Murder, She Wrote actually was a show I was forced to watch a lot because of my grandmother. But Angela Lansbury can sing like a motherfucker. I actually really love Angela Lansbury. So Murder, She Wrote, fucking great show, motherfucker. So Black Sails, thanks for the reminder, Phil. You have to watch Black Sails. Were you a Black Sails fan at all?
No, I'm one of those people that if I get into a show, I have to like devote my life to it, kind of thing. So I don't like to watch a whole ride because otherwise it would just ruin my life.
Dude, I'm the same. Dude, I'm like the same way. And I don't. And when I when I go watch a show, my life gets taken over by it, and I'll just like be obsessed by it and have to watch it every single day, even if it's a shit show where like Stephanie and I get into, and we're like, oh, we have to watch this show to the end, and we have to make it. You know, we have to make it through Charmed. We got to fucking make it. You know, we're gonna see this horrible teen drama shit. Because I don't mind. I like some horrible teen drama, but certain things just go too far for me, and in some shows I hate myself for watching all of it. I'm like, why am I doing this? I need to stop. But I'm like such a TV show completionist that once I start something, I fucking have to finish it. So I'm very.
That was Iron Fist. I got halfway through that, and I'm like, this is killing me, but I had to finish it.
I have to. Oh, wait, that one character, his girlfriend's all right. You know, she's all right. And that cage fighting scene was all right. It was okay. It was okay. Game of Thrones with Marie says, waves to King Mckay. Hi, King Mckay. And let's say Bran almost seems emotional when he sees the Night's King. What if he's being emotional to fight when he's using his emotions as a weapon? Yeah, Joe's love saves them all. So what is going to be Bran's trigger to have like to finally beat the Night King? I think he just needs to practice, right? Practice a little bit more.
Yeah, I think he needs to get like to learn how to separate Bran from the Three-Eyed Raven, and I really hope that they end the show with like the Three-Eyed Raven part of him dying and him returning to like a normal character. Yeah, that would be. I hope to see that by the end of the series. That would be cool.
So there are many uncles now. Drogon has to meet his new Uncle John. Okay, one more time, few more things. Game of Thrones with Marie. Sorry, I'm having such a good time. I'm keeping you longer than I said.
This is great.
Check out Cersei's River and Terminator Sierra Chronicles. Definitely worth it. Have a good night, Hannibal. Have a good night, Hannibal. Thank you so much. Oh, Hannibal, before you go, don't go, motherfucker. Let's see if we can do this. I was gonna play this earlier. Let's say we got where is it? Let's play. This is a song. It's a cover that Hannibal did. So let's play a little music from Hannibal. It was a song dedicated to me. This song's dedicated. Ooh. Here we go.
All right, take 5. Fuck you, bitch. You broke my heart. Fuck you.
Is that because I support Sansa?
Tearing us apart. Fuck your dog. Hope it never comes home. Fuck you, bitch. Hope you wind up alone. Fuck you, bitch. You broke my heart. Fuck your friends. You're tearing us apart. Fuck your dog. Hope it never comes home. Fuck your bitch. Hope you wind up alone. Fuck your bitch. Hope you wind up alone. Woo! You fucking cunt.
Hey. Hey. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. No, but that's an awesome song from Hannibal in the live chat. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I was looking for the right opportunity to play that, but thank you so much. And let's take. I saw one more question in the live chat that's directed at us. Let me scroll up there and take this last question. This is from David Granger. Phil, the Issues Guy, and King Mckay. Was there a non-Targaryen who rode a dragon called Sheep Eater? She brought him a sheep every day. She was the first and the last rider of the Sheep Eater. King, do you know anything about that?
I know that people they looked after the person brought this up in one of his videos. That didn't actually find it out from anywhere else. But they needled looked after a dragon and cared for it for ages, and then they were able to ride it. So I know you don't need to have Valyrian ties to do that. So that was something Preston kept talking about for a while. So yeah, it's possible. I don't actually know the history myself.
Nope. So everybody, thank you so fucking much for joining us tonight. And King Mckay, thank you so much for joining us. I hope your first live stream wasn't too horrible.
It was great.
He's like, yeah,
that was horrible.
He's like, wait, no, fuck you, dude. Fuck you. I'm never doing this again. Screw off. Eat a dick. Fucking.
I just want to take my lines of Dragon Class,
Yeah, I'm gonna go snort some lines of Dragon Blood and go back to making my videos and never do a fucking live stream with you again. But no, I definitely hope that you join us again during a Viking season. It was a lot of fun getting to talk to you.
Absolutely love to.
And everyone, thank you so much for joining us for this feedback show. Thank you for all your feedback, all your calls, voicemails, and the live motherfucking chat. If you haven't already and you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button and join us for more fun. I'll be on this Friday afternoon around 12:30 doing a very useless reaction to the trailer or something. I don't even know what I'm doing on Friday. Something will be done Friday afternoon at 12:30. It might be me just babbling or something like that and talking about the state of spoilers in the world right now. But like I said before, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to King Mckay's channel. You can find that link in the chat right now or in the description box below. But also, if you haven't liked the video, fucking join us next week for another feedback show. Next week, we'll be joined by Tony Teflon to take your questions as well. So join us for that live stream. And then the final week of the season, we'll be joined by Joe Dirty Locks for your feedback. So and Joe, Katie, and I will be back on this Sunday right after the episode airs. The first time everyone sees this episode, Joe Dirty Locks, Katie, and I will be talking about it, King. This will be the very first time everybody sees the episode on Sunday. We'll be very excitedly talking about it. But you should do an hour of what grinds my gears rant on Friday. Maybe I'll do an issue program on Friday or something like that. Maybe I'll do an episode 6 watch. Maybe I'll do something. No, I'm trying to hold off as much as possible to watch episode 6 till at least Saturday, I guess, or something like that. But and then do it to take notes so that I can watch on Sunday for fun. But I'm a weak man, and I'm slightly drunk right now. So who knows what's going to happen when this podcast gets shut off. King Mckay. Who knows what's gonna happen when I fucking read those leak descriptions months ago. I mean, I pretty much know what the episode happens, but so who gives a fuck? I'm just stalling because I'm enjoying talking too much. But everybody, talk to you guys next time, and yeah, bye. Yeah, fucking bye.
Smash that like button.
So I took you down to the local clinic. If you pass blood test, my dick will go in it. Told y'all be faithful, it is true. If you little ass, birth control too. Now the women, it's not wrong. The boyfriend is constantly passing it along. Pass her along. Pass her along. So what if a woman is for me and you? I have a simulation, damn it, it's true.
Oh yeah, I forgot to thank everyone in the live fucking chat. Aaron Sharp, Analysis of Thrones, B. Leon, B. Social, Broke Black Man, 94, David, Eli, Frumius, Game of Thrones with Marie, Gecko, Ghost Wolf, there you are, Hannibal, I see, Iron Throne, Jack, King Mckay, love that guy, King of Winter, Critch, Lady Wolverton, Den of Lady Wolverton, lots of love to you and congratulations on 50. Lady Euron, Greyjoy, Leanna, Mara Jade Skywalker, Mark Harrington, Mark Hunt, Monty G, Pamela Evans, Peter Griffin. I love you, Peter Griffin. Professor, Quixote, Rig, The Goat, Timo, Tom himself, Ty Queen, and William. Thank you so much to everyone for sticking around. You guys are amazing in the live chat. Later.
Birth control and blood tests, you ever get this shit? Condoms are natural, and plus they feel like shit. We need a woman we all can trust, so we know if we fuck her, our dick won't turn to dust. Our dick won't turn to dust. Do you ever get this shit? Condoms are natural, and plus they feel like shit. We need a woman we all can trust, so we know if we fuck her, our shit won't turn to dust. Our shit won't turn to dust.